There's obviously lots to get through this week, but we're going to start with the Heineken Champions Cup final at Ashton Gate in Bristol. How do you guys see it panning out?
Well, first of all, look, Racing have lost this thing twice in 2016 and 2018. And so 2 years later, they find themselves in another final. I think they're more mature. I think the side is, players within that side have grown. And I just think it's their time. I really do think it's their time. However, they're against a side in Exeter that, like, I watched that Bath Exeter semi-final the other day, and I actually backed Bath. I thought Bath really had the pack and had the game to go to Sandy Park and win. If there was any side that could challenge Exeter up front, it would be Bath. And it was a 35-point game, and Bath didn't score a try. So it's just a formidable final, isn't it? I think the weather, if it's dry, I just see so many attacking threats in Racing. Vakatawa for me is one of the standout players in World Rugby, if not the best player in World Rugby this year. And he can cause problems for Exeter in the wiser channels. But Exeter is just this machine, mate. Dills, you would have played against Exeter for near on a decade. They're just this machine. How do you stop them?
They're just this really pragmatic machine. They've got really good set piece, and they've got a little bit of stardust out wide. But I think the biggest thing that I noticed with Exeter, and it's really obvious, they convert every time that they kind of enter an opposition 30, 20, 22 or 5 meters out. They always leave with something. When I look at the two, and I acknowledge your point about Racing have been there, and you look at drivers like experience, like they've lost the final a couple of times. So they've got that kind of emotional driver to kind of finally get it over the line. But then, if I'm honest, like, I'm firmly an Exeter fan, because I think English rugby, especially on the European stage, for a few years now, has been waiting for someone to fly the flag. We've struggled for a while, other than Saracens. So it's just good to see another English team there. I just hope it's not just getting there to the finals enough for them. I just hope that it's not this occasion that they're not ready for, like Racing have experienced before. And I firmly hope and support that Exeter kind of do it.
Would you say that it's going to be a big advantage for Exeter that the final is in Bristol?
Yeah, look, I think it's an advantage. Obviously, there's no crowd. So, I think if there was a crowd, it would play into Exeter's hands. I mean, one thing for sure, Exeter played Bristol away about a month ago in the Premiership. So a few of those players would have experienced Ashton Gate, the surface, the setup there. But yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. The other thing I love about Exeter is the way, Dylan's alluded to, they convert. If they have a penalty, even on the 22, and you're just thinking, right, take the points. It'll be interesting to see whether they do this in the final, whether they still kick to touch. It happened on the weekend. They could have taken an easy 3, just keep the scoreboard ticking. Knockout rugby is that old cliche, but Exeter still kick for the corner because they back their drive. They back being 5-10 meters out so much that they would rather roll the dice and try for 7 rather than a guaranteed 3. I really, really wonder whether they have the plums to do that in a Champions Cup final. It's going to be fascinating. I think if it's dry, I think Racing have the power to do it. I think they have the game plan to do it. I think they have the game changes to do it. But I think if it's drizzly, if it's wet, I just see more strength at halfback for Exeter. I think their experience, this machine we talk about, is just more suited to the wet conditions.
I love your point around like how they put pressure on the opposition by going to the corner, but it's almost like psychological warfare. And knowing a few of their guys, and they've explained this theory to me, it's not applying pressure to the opposition; it's applying pressure to themselves. Like how many teams when they get awarded a penalty, they kind of step back and let their fly half kick that 3. Whereas Exeter kind of gather around, they say, all right, let's convert this to 5 to 7. They put that pressure on themselves to come away with a try. And if you look at like their ferocity of how they ruck, and especially when they're 5 meters out, how they commit numbers to the ball carry, the latch, the clearer, like they put that kind of pressure on themselves to convert. And 9 times out of 10, they come away. Yeah. And even if they don't You look at position stats, like they have minutes on the ball, they have territory stats, and all that has like a psychological impact on the opposition. But equally, like the flip side of that is, you know, on that 1 or 2 chances that defending team can kind of keep that effort out, it's a massive boost to that side as well.
Exactly.
But
If there's
I
ever
actually
a side to do it,
respect-
Bills, it's Racing, because
Yeah.
their pack is monstrous and they've got some players over the ball in that pack.
What are your score predictions now then for the weekend?
I'm just hoping the weather's decent. I hope doesn't become just a tactical arm wrestle and a kicking game. I want to see backs in space because that's what I think the rugby watching public deserve to see. I am going to go Racing 20, Exeter 18.
Okay. And Dylan?
Exeter, I'm going to give him 29, and I'm going to go Racing 23. And a bit like Jamie, I want to see a good surface. I want to see Jack Noel, Henry Slade in the game, Sam Simmons, Joe Simmons doing their thing. I want all action. I want to see big scrums. I want to see pick and goes. But yeah, just not a game dominated by set piece, penalties, pick and go tries, these sorts of things.